Hello all, welcome back to Geek, Feng, Shui. I'm your host and game master, Bob Sellers JR. Shout out to our friends at Calicut Brewing here in beautiful Castle Manorville, Under Pressure, Golden Valley. It's up in the Twin Cities, South by Southeast, and equally beautiful Pine Island, or venues of similar nature near you and yours. Family, pet, kid, fun, friendly orientated, not sports, bar, dank, dark. By any means, they often have event-filled calendars, whether they're on Facebook or their own web pages, that invite all to participate, whether it's beer choir, trivia, or other fun things. Dogs, art, or pets, up to a limit, I think. I'm not sure if they allow snakes. But yeah, they have all kinds of fun stuff to do, and I highly recommend checking them out. And if you don't drink alcohol, they have other options. I actually had a delicious dragon fruit root beer at Connecticut. They basically have their root beer that they mix in different flavors, and it is really good and non-alcoholic. Some of them also have non-alcoholic beers, the best kind, because you got the taste without the alcohol content. So,
be careful.
Anyway, check them out. And on Saturdays, you can come do yoga here in Casson. You can judge if you can drink before, during, or after. And as we all know, yoga under the influence is still considered art, entertainment, especially the video and photo evidence, and not considered illicit, even inside the Bible Belt, as far as I know. Check them out. Check out my books at sellersgr.com, my overall website at geekfengshui.com. This channel, which I appreciate, every like, subscribe, and setting on the bell. Did I say like? I think I said like. Hopefully you like it. I would appreciate it if you like it. So, also, check out this channel. I just said that. See if you're listening. So, in order to tweak the trolls, I did learn something. You know, there's a link to a video I put down for Mad Season. Mad Season is his full name, but he kind of keeps it that way on purpose. Is a great resource for guys about different games and whatnot. He and I have differing opinions. I'll point that out. He's not wrong, neither am I. One of them was a token. The token, I think, is helpful. It allows you to be able to do things that you might not otherwise been able to do. Good, bad, or indifferent. I mean, there are people that abuse it, like the level boost and then buying all the level 80 stuff. That, yeah, that's their money. I buy it just to support my individual characters. In particular, I have a Blood Death Knight that's 80, Red Baroness. I have WoTLK here as a priest, the Troll Queen as I call her, because to be honest, I was flabbergasted, surprised, and didn't see it coming when they just swarmed all over her. Like they found the goddess that they needed to have. And, you know, I have lots of artwork. Hers was the least one I would have guessed. I would have bet money that no one would have cared, but obviously they did, so. Anyway, she's back. She's a holy priest now. Originally, she started out as Shadow. I thought, no, I'm going to try. I want to do healing. Healing, I've talked about in the past, has been a bane of my. I'm going to turn up. I think I turned the volume down. Anyway, I did. Sorry. Anyway, I touched on that. So, anyway, I got WoTLK up to 70. And I have Tranquility, who is now a Holy Paladin, up to 70 as well. So I'll be able to show the different variations at least. I haven't got my Shaman up that high or my Druids. And to be honest, it all came about because of the pending Cataclysm changes. At first, I was a little irritated that they were doing it, to be perfectly honest. That felt the need to force people to play. I mean, I like WoTLK, but after digesting the news and coming to accept it, that I'll have to make a choice one way or the other if I keep playing it, I started realizing the good things I remember coming out of Cataclysm. Cataclysm has got a lot of bad press, good, bad, or indifferent. reasons well-founded and not so well-founded, and founded in what the heck are they talking about type situations. And one of them was the addition of XP for gatherers. I'm talking primarily about herbalists and miners. Skinning, you obviously get XP because you usually have to kill somebody or something to skin them. You can't skin humans. Ed Gein people have said, why not? It's a game. Yeah, no, sorry. They don't do that. I think they drew a line at that. So, anyway, it's like, well, I'm going to get these up here, and I'm going to hold off except for my leather working robe because I have Bodicea is maxed out on herbalism. She is not at tailoring yet, but she will be at some point. And I have mining, max on skinning, and I have Red Baroness, who is jewel crafting and inscriptions things, also working on getting mixed up. Because there is a certain, on this particular side, when you're on one side of the population wall, inscription and jewel crafting can be a barren thing in the auction house. And it's jewel crafting isn't as necessarily, I can say that, as it might have been otherwise. I mean, yeah, when you get socketed items, I'll point out I got socketed items when I was in my 60s that when I was 70s, I ended up just getting into the greens, and that's going to happen with Cataclysm. So I decided, well, I'm going to make her jewel crafter, so I'll have it. She's level 80, can work on it. And I have Tranquility, who's a miner, can get whatever minerals. And I have OC with the herbalism, which feeds that. So, yeah. So what am I doing here is I'm showing what you can do while you am not queued up right now. It will be in a moment. I just turned 70, so I went through and said all of the skills and whatnot that I had. I have to check. I have a glyph open here, and I'll find it. Of course I didn't. We'll fix that when I go back another time. But yeah, I bought a token on the Horde side and been shuffling stuff over, and my other account's going to expire and I won't renew it. But it was handy to have while it was there to be able to farm one side and feed the other. And you have to be careful with Wintergrass, even if you're on a PvE server, because it's a PvP zone. So you might not be used to being ganked. I am, I have been here, because I'm on a PvP server. And there are Horde that'll find you and watch you, and I have Spy going, so you can tell. Commentary on healers. I've had some funny moments, particularly with my Paladin, where I was farming on Goro Crater for mining, because that's what she does. And the Horde were just thick as thieves there. And I had one try to kill it. Well, I should explain that Tranquility is a Paladin. So she can bubble. I haven't tried bubble hard there. I didn't think to do that. Anyway, I bubbles and heal with the one. He kept hitting me, and I'd heal out of it. It was quite. I was laughing, and you never want to be doing that when you're like, I didn't try to attack, because holy character classes don't do a whole lot of DPS damage necessarily. So I led him about halfway across Agora, and I almost made it back to the flight point when another Horde came along and finished me off. But doing dungeons as a healer is a test of your skills. You will become battle tested and know what to do when. because unfortunately you can't heal stupid, but you can try to maintain them. Example in point are tanks and DPS that do not heal up before pull because they expect to be healed. And it's like, hello, I'm healing during the fight because you can't heal during the fight. And you can't make that point unless you just let him die. Well, I had one tank that I said to make a point, and he was like half life. And he went to a big pull and he died. We managed to get him back, and he'd just come back. When you're just revived, if you don't know, you don't have much life. You have to eat up or be healed up. And he went from being revived into another pull and died, and then they kicked me for not being a better. It's like, you know, I don't need to be in that group. And when there's a 30-minute wait, if it's before the first boss or somebody else hasn't left, I can do other things. So, but yeah, the other bad part can be is if your DPS isn't there. I had a couple of groups with my paladin again. I had one night I was playing, and I got into this group, and they couldn't kill a housefly. I swear. I have a damage meter and I have a healing, so I can tell health and who was doing what damage. And they were struggling, and it got to the point where they got into a big fight, and they overpulled. That's another thing, is speed and overpulling. This is going to sound like I'm on a soapbox, but it is what it is. A bad tank, a bad DPS, overpulling, running too fast is not a good recipe. I don't know what they expect. If they've had 80 healers with them, I don't know. But that does not fly with me, or other healers, I suspect. Well, anyway, with these three Gomers, as I will call them, I told them to eat up, and then they went to battle anyway, and they weren't full life to begin with, and didn't let me have a full mana pool. And then they tried to say, well, you had 70% mana pool. Yeah, only 70%. How much life did you have? And then, because I waited, I had other things to do in the game, so I went through and so it says, usually if you wait like 30 minutes, you won't see them again. Well, lo and behold, I queued up, and guess who I got into again? Same group, and that's when they were chewing me out for leaving them. Well, you had 70% mana. I should have had 100% mana. You should have had 100% life, and maybe it was. Then they started using foul language taunts. And so, one thing that's good about World of Warcraft and looking for group is the ignore function. Now, you have to realize you can't ignore someone from another server if you're outside of the group, but you can ignore them while you're in the group. And once you ignore them, you should never see them again in the group. It's just a small trick of the trade. So I ignored 3 of them because the other one was not saying a word. He was being smart. And I haven't. Now that's only for one character. I've ignored other characters on this character as well as Red Baroness, because there's some players you just do not want to see again. And that is all their characters. That's not just the one necessarily. Well, I guess it is just the one, but you can't ban an account. Ignore an account, you can ignore a character from an account. Now, the one thing to watch out for here is that you are going to be attacked not just by a horde, I've maxed out on my herbalism, so I'm not getting anything from this other than I know it's like 40 minutes until the next winter grass and you'll get kicked out. But I kind of wanted to show what you can do while you're waiting if you're a DPS. Tanks and healers and obviously have faster queues. I want to make sure I'm clear of Wintergrass before I queue up, because you'll come back to where you was and you'll be sent back to Dalaran. And there's people, so because there's some ore you can get here, it's just a smaller circle of farming. That's why people prefer to come up here. Usually it's 80s, because there's two options to get here before you're 80. I've showed the other one where you come over and die and fly in res and Dalaran, get the flight point and portal down, and then or you can just ghost over and get the res here and get the flight point. Or once you have a level 80, there's the NPC that teaches cold flying sells a book for 1,000 gold that gives you flying at 68. It's bind on account, so in my case, it's one of the few things that you can mail besides heirlooms between Horde and Alliance on the same server. Or I think you can do a cross server too, for that matter. This is the Horde flight point. Anyway, I will just do another couple quick checks here. You go around the trees, and then we'll go over down to Sholazar Base, and I'll queue up. May I have Horde follow me around and kill me when I land. The other fun thing is if you die in Wintergrass, just as you're queued up, you'll res when you enter the dungeon, because you get instant res in Wintergrass at the flight point, more or less. So just another little... I will queue up. So right now I can get to 2 dungeons. You don't have to check these are if you're specific for you. I'm going to go some random Lich King dungeons and do healer. I try not to be on the ground when I enter a queue or enter a dungeon. You'll come back that way and you just don't know what you're going to be dealing with. Sholazar Basin is great for herbing as well as mining. It's a certain thing, but the Horde on my servers PvP and the Horde I think are like 95 or 98%. They're up there, and there's probably about 5% that don't bother you, but there's the rest of them primarily in these areas where they're mining, and there's bots. I always credit a bot with being just a player that didn't want to kill me, but it is what it is. Going back to the book thing, once you get the book at 68 and fly, you can take a boat over and then fly to Dalaran and Wintergrass, because Tranquility did that. And Gesundheit, my rogue that is a leather worker, in time will do that as well. She got a portal from a mage to go, but she has no need to go to the Wintergrass. That's just best to do. I have to create a bank for all the herbs. I think I have one. Let's see if you get in here and pick. But yeah, the gearing going from the 60s to the 70s, particularly as a healer, is a big step, because you get tanks that will just cause you all sorts of grief with the average. It doesn't give you the average. Well, I'm this close, I might as well go back and get the glyph and reading. Unload some of the herbs. Look at some of the views. Sholazar here is quite hilly. Ground pounding. Again, it's you can. I think you can get up this front if you get past the all the mountains. There's a what's it? The shiitake mushroom. I'll use shiitake. There's a shiitake amount of mobs going up this hill that are high enough level that if you're not at level, you'll be corpse hopping a lot, because you can see these. I think those are level 80s. Those are level 80s, and those allow you to take the hill up. And that's about the only way that I know of, I think, that you can get into Wintergrass without. You have to be careful flying, because after while you're flying, if they dismount, you fall. Like this. Watch what will happen. Picking up flying. The Paladin, I have an aura that gives me speed, which is nice. I do not have the very fast riding. I just got the regular riding. And that goes back to another point that the token brings into play is the fast riding is advantageous for gatherers. And you will find, let's see if I can do that, for looping around and getting stuff. It's 5,000 gold. And so, I mean, on my retail characters, I had them for some of the gatherers, just, and that was before tokens. There was a lot of farming for gold. But here, you buy a token nowadays, I think they're like 10,000 gold, so that's 2 fast riding. Is it worth it? No, not really. Because I've been farming around other farmers that obviously have it, and they fly too fast because nodes appear in their wake, to use a nautical term. So I just go along and they fly over and they don't stop, and also that node appears that they didn't see it. Yeah, oh, I don't know if it'll let me. No, it won't. So I can't go and use. I was going to use that portal. You don't go in winter grasp. Higher level dungeons are, you can have immediate queues as a healer. Sometimes it's like this where, because they just re-queue. It's like, that's fine. So you want to have something else to keep you busy. So we're going to fly back. It's quicker, I think.
What's up? Have a good one.
I won't pause it here because this is kind of fun for you to see the views. Congrats out to the Iowa women's basketball team, among other basketball teams playing. Great job getting to the final 2. I was amused. I'm not pro or con, but penalty that came up at the last second. It's like, I'm a football fan more than I am basketball, and it's no different than if a holding call comes in on a field goal at the end of a big playoff game that knocks them out of playoff or field goal range. People whine and complain about it, but it's like a penalty is a penalty. And just because it's the final seconds of a championship game doesn't mean you can't call it. And it was intriguing to find out in one of the commentaries that they knew the other team did invalid screens, or whatever it's called. So they kind of set the trap and led them into doing it. Because if you watch an NFL game, players that get held will go to the refs and point out, say, hey, this dude's been holding the whole game. I want you to keep an eye on him. And eventually the refs do, and eventually they catch them. So to say that they were only calling the penalty on one team, and the other team is just better at hiding it. This is the, you don't see the book. So I can get artisan writing if I want to. You don't see the book. You don't see the book unless you're 80. So Red Baron despises the book. get one. Oriental, I have to go check that out. I'm not sure exactly. So I'm going to take out this. Opens up a little room in there. Because my inscriptionists and other characters, the alchemists, will use those.
Need something?
So, what glyph do I have? Oh, I got there. Now I have fortitude and levitate. I'm gonna do that one.
See you around.
That has to do with the prayer of shadow protection. So when I go into an instance, I can give spirit. I don't have to do it individually. I just do it for the whole group. Inner fire is my only thing I do, and I have them set separately. So when I'm out on my own, I can do it to myself. And I have frost weave sets and other sets I can make.
Hello.
Some of them I'm keeping around simply because another fun thing with Cataclysm is you can use transmog to make stuff look like something else. So you can make yourself look appealing to your eye of what armor you wear. And I've seen some silly I forget to do this.
Greetings.
What's that?
Be careful. Light bless you.
Kind of surprised on a Saturday that I'm not getting more of a queue. Give me a chance to go exploring. I'll take you up into a different area so you can see what herbs are there.
King's honor, friend. Go with honor, friend.
Now I'm using the heirloom shoulders because it 10% experience. Now there are other shoulders I have that probably give me better stats, but the idea is to do better. Anyway, it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. I pass this back to my paladin, who is a plate wearer, wears them. Well, it's cloth while you're wearing well. It's A, its spell, B, its... We'll go to River's Heart and work our way up to the other areas. I love the views of this game. When I came out of Diablo 2 to this, it was like, whoa. And that's where the addiction started. I do plan to keep playing even when Kata comes out. I'm not sure. I'm in the Kata beta. I haven't really done a whole lot there yet. I may end up doing a video, or I plan to do several characters. I may do a Shadow Priest, or I'm not sure exactly what classes can be played when it comes out. We'll see. I may do some on the Horde side, because the Horde side does have much more availability of support items. And I could perhaps get a spin on what their dungeons look like. And to be honest, most of the dungeons nowadays with the group finder are pretty mixed. They're not us and them, it's whatever dungeon you get into. It used to be you had to go to Stormwind for the Horde to go in and do the dungeon there. Now you don't. Which purists will say, well, that kind of takes away. I disagree. It's the same thing with looking for the raid. Yeah, you're not doing what some of these guilds are doing, but on the same token, you know that going into it. It's not going to necessarily go as well as you might in the guild, but it gives people who might not otherwise see the content to be able to see it. The same thing with the token, is you can use a token to supplement your characters, whether it's bags or bonus for their respective skills. Jewel crafting is expensive. You really need to have the ability to get minerals and bars and so on. Red Baroness does a lot, as well as the for doing her jewel crafting, but it's the Tranquility does a lot of mining. Here we go. This is a fun one. So fleas is our tank. I forgot to update my mana. I'll do that. At 70 you can get better mana. That wasn't my bad. It's the first time running this instance of this character. Big thing you get into is mana regen, as well as your mana pool, because you'll be pushed to the extreme with some of these tanks. And the higher mana regen, the better off you are. It's like on this character with my buffs, I have 390. I'm not sure what I have with my paladin. And you have to be careful that you don't heal too soon, because you will get aggro off of the tank. Been there, done that. DPS do that. They don't let the tank get aggro. That stresses out the healer. I'll need on that. I can see if I can get it. Yay, for me. group heals, prayer of healing, usually helpful in these situations. Share it. One thing I did learn on the palette, which was interesting, is that you have to remember in some instances for some quests, you go back to your racial tree. And what I mean by that, there was a... I have another paladin that evidently did the quest that is not Grenade. That had to do with getting the revive a player. So when I switched over the ability, healers do generally get, you know, somebody dies and do better. I suppose that's my hope on that. Still, I went to the Paladin branch and I forged, and well, it turns out the quest is only given to next time go deal. And then you train it up as you go along. So if you're doing a Grenade Paladin, and like me, I don't take this the wrong way, developers. I just don't like leveling in the Exodar area. Never have. It's like I'm reluctant to level in the Undead area no more. It's just some areas are just not my cup of tea. So when I finally realized that I didn't have it, it's like, oh, how do I revive someone? But I do. For those that keep trying to say they can't hear me, it could be I listen to it and I can hear myself fine in my players. I don't know if that's because of the game noise. So if you're going to make a comment about that, be clearer on what you mean. I'm not saying you're wrong. And I've tried to replicate it where I can't hear myself. And I think our versions of not being able to hear me differ. I was not watching the... This is almost fun. You get tanks that don't watch the chat. That's when things can break down. Just, hey, they try to decide what you need is bad or not. That's because we're not the viewers.
You know what they say about curiosity. I'll give you more and have you know.
Oh, I've not had that happen.
Now to finish the job. Down the...
if you find things that are green, some blues that are bind on, I don't have a problem needing them. I need on jewels, I need on boxes that my assassins, my rogues I should say, can open. Rarely do I find somebody that knows vanilla shape, but I mean it does happen. There are people, and in Cataclysm they kind of cleaned that up a little bit, where if your class can't use it, I don't remember what the rules are. It's going to be interesting to see what the version of Cataclysm that we get, because there were different variations, things they changed. So while I was upset, and I will say that they were going to be Cataclysm and give me the option not to do it, I understand, and I'll go with it. I mean, it's just, they had to do something for the high-end people now. Well, does that mean they're going to, a year from now, force us to play the next version? I know what I'm doing now. And some of these instances do have herbs, and some have skinning, and some have binding. Binding heal is an interesting heal, as you're healing the target or yourself. Gives me an opportunity to have options. So there's another thing, when a tank doesn't see me and jumps down, it's like, hello. By the way, if you jump wrong, you will die. I've done it. Make sure I'm recording, and I got all the things you learn that can go wrong. YouTube. I don't generally do lives. when I'm playing, sometimes I'll hit the pause button. I go do something else and come back and. Yeah, the Mad Season has a nice video, but it's called Getting Something Off His Chest, and I'll link it in there. And it is very paramount to understand when you're doing a YouTube channel about games. There are people that will play to the audience and people that will play to the content. Reaction videos or something like that. There are people that will react to a video good, bad, or indifferent because they know there's an audience out there for that. He uses an example of trashing a game. Like, I'll use Blizzard as an example. There's people that absolutely positively dislike the way Blizzard is going. I mean, and they have good points. Don't get me wrong. There are issues with any company. But there are equally a number of people that watch videos that promote. And I'm either promoting or detracting. I'm just playing the game as a casual player. And I think that the term casual has been used as a insult more than a description. Oh, you're a casual player. Yeah, I'm a casual player. It's not a job. It's a hobby. It's fun. Some people go out drinking, gambling. Dare I say, chasing skirts. Where's the Scotland that be? Take a long turn. Let's see where it goes. But yeah, it's all what you make of it. I know people that go out and spend hundreds of dollars a week drinking, at the bars playing pool, gambling, losing, winning, chasing their losses. Level 70. So yeah, it's good to pay attention, particularly if you can get to Dalaran and Shattereth as you're going, because from Dalaran you can get to Shattereth fairly easily. There's a room of portals I'll show you. Oh, I should show you, take you on a tour. We'll go back to Dalaran because I want to show you what used to be the 70 content. And I did a little bit with Red Barons. Isle of Geek. I don't know, it's not as worthwhile as it was back then. Shattereth, there is a portal to an island of Feng. We call it the Isle of Gang because to get certain things done, you had to get quests done. So Horde and Alliance, it's a PvP area. So we would fly in as Alliance, and everything would be red because of all the Horde that were in there, just like chopping at the bit to kill. I'm not going to do this. Realistically, at 70 now, if you're not going out to a really, it's kind of silly. Because the quests don't give as much experience and the stuff you can buy. You usually, I mean, it's one of the sad things when Wrath of the Lich King came out is that that was kind of removed. I mean, you can still play that in Classic, but I don't play it. Yeah, we'll go up there. could and still queue up, but Urbing is kind of a fun. People try to sneak past it. It just never works. Yeah, it's like I was doing a quest earlier. We had one to do gadget stand. You can take a shortcut. So one guy did, he was the only one, most of the time, 95% of the time, they jumped down and you can skip over a bunch of content. That's good XP. Well, this one guy just went and jumped, then he got frustrated because he was nice little just teleport out and teleport back. And then instead he just got so PO'd that you weren't doing it the way that everybody else was doing it. Yeah, I need to go back and do this mapping because it's just drinking wise.
Preserve? Why? There's no truth in it. No, no, no. Only in the taking. I see that now. Stay. Enjoy your final moments.
And of course,
Binder, preserve me.
I don't know if there's anybody still alive that can. Of course, they all leave. I'll need on it. I used to save all of this stuff, and it's like, no, I'll just sell it. When you do the looking for group of risking, you get the adventuring supplies, which have some nice stuff in them. I'm hoping to get healers to 80 before Cataclysm comes out. My plan going forward is to focus on showing videos of them and end in my rogue. The other ones I'm just going to leave sit until Cata comes out. Oh, it's a fresh dungeon. Haha. So in this case, yeah, so I'm going to hearth out. So you get food, and these are the mountain waters.
Hello.
We get rid of these. The meat, as it were, changed or stayed the same. think that upgraded before the mana did. That's the Salted Medicine. So you'll get upgraded till 75 on that. And the same thing with the tea. So yeah, I think we did pretty good. For the time being, I will now, if I see a good item that's green, I'll keep it and send it to the appropriate characters. You notice I didn't get a whole lot of experience out of that. So we will go back. We'll see. You can always see, no matter what level you are, what next Warcraft. You do not own Warcraft. I also know not buffs.
What brings you here? Be careful.
Wait, I can't queue to it.
Greetings.
Just 78.
Good luck, friend.
Because you get killed too easily. You have all these portals here now, and one of the... It wasn't Cataclysm, but it was one of the other ones came out. Those all went away because it came out with a new advanced area. Cataclysm doesn't. I can't remember if it was the other one, and all those portals went away because it didn't. And you got your own fortresses, which was not one of their better ideas. There's a lot of missed turns they did with these different evolutions of the game. But there's a lot of people like me. I use Dalaran because it's got access to a lot of different areas.
Can I assist you?
And
Till next.
anyway, there's a lot of low-level characters that were crying for ports out of Dalaran. Because at one point, when they come out with a new one, and I don't remember which one, there's going to be a new Dalaran. And the difference between so that you could phase between both of them. You want to the new Dalaran, the lower level, is hostile. It's not friendly when the old Dalaran was. So if you forget that and go down there like, oh, that's where I go to get my PvP gear, which is this Dalaran, you're in for a rude awakening. As you go down and don't come back. If you do, and walk the graveyard, but. Look and see where I turn. So for this, I get a cloth shoulder. Oh, actually, that. I forgot where I got. I have to go over there. I might have other quests now. Because there is another quest to do in there. You can find out which ones are the dungeons. So yeah, you can fly over Wintergrass as long as you don't try to get in there. Even though it's not going on our server directly, they will let you in. Even when I've got into Wintergrass and won it and came back, I couldn't go back because of fighting in some other version of it, because it must layer it out. I'll go turn that quest in another time. So so I don't bore you with that. But having the flight coming at 68 does make it a lot easier if you're mining, herbing. Probably would not come to this new area till 70 or area till 60 because you really do face a challenge of being able to kill things if you need to. Healers, it's a little different because we, for the most part, unless you do dual spec, which is also 5,000 gold, I believe. I think that changes in Cataclysm. There was a big cost difference about Cataclysm. Ugh, long weekend. Getting nicer and nicer weather. So I'll queue up. I thought I did queue up. Apparently I didn't. '71 and 72, 70 to 72 is when you really stay. If you do instances, you will take a significant jump in gearage, whether it's armor or weaponry. Like right now, I'm using a dagger I got as well as an offhand and one. Some of these I've made now. I could have made. This is the heirloom. I could have made this. This is made by somebody else I put on the horde side. I can make those now. Frostweave, and then there's next one up that comes, so you can wear a whole set. The one thing coming up in Cataclysm I should touch on is that right now you can do a hybrid. Like all of my characters using Icy Veins are hybrids of a sort. Where if you go look at my talent trees, I have some in Discipline and the rest in Holy. In my Red Baroness, with her being a Blood DK, I have some, I think it's in Frost. I could be wrong, I have to go back and look. And the rest in Blood. Well, in Cataclysm, you have to fill up your entire tree before you can do that. And I don't think it even leaves you enough points to do that if you don't. So yeah, things change, and my understanding of it is that Cataclysm, Death Knight tanks are Blood, not Frost. Frost is you're in Frost, and again, I could be wrong. It's going to be the first time. But your Frost present is for tanking, but the Blood part heals you as you're fighting. So you can see the extreme advantages of at least having regular flying here. Again, I couldn't get at this level until Red Baroness was 78 and got to 80. She could not fly here. Baroness does her questing up here where she can get tokens. I may go back and do it to get more heirlooms. I'm kind of evenly split on the heirlooms because, yeah, they do good, but I have stuff that gives me other benefits. The 10% XP. You have this up here that kind of wipes that out. I'll give an example. If I switch at 688 to 218. So you can see the boost in there versus the boost that I have over in the shoulders. So I get 72, I can use a Frostbow, and by having that, I will have a Spirit by 15. So you can get all these sets and stuff. But here I lose Critical Strike. Spell power by 41. But I have more spirit. Here I only have stamina. We can try going and see if it makes that much of a difference, but you can see how the advantage of mana regen significantly jumps up. And that in and of itself might be, because I think that other set of shoulders I left back in the bank, they should be. And mana regen. Or I may have sent them to the banker. Because invariably as you go, you'll find better. So what I'll do here between dungeons is I will go and get flight points. And the flight points are way out here. And there is options. You don't want to do that because they're level 79. But on occasion you have the ability to go get herbs. Flip over and do a couple runs on my pally tank to show you same dungeons but done differently with it. I don't know. I wait till the troll cleanup. I'm doing the troll cleanup only because of how annoyed the trolls were. I still am amused. It was annoying, to be honest, at first, because I did not expect the negativity, and again, it was misplaced completely. They talk about clickbait. Well, guess what? YouTube is based upon that. The only difference is I wasn't clickbaiting in a bad way. I was telling you what I was doing and had a model with it. And because they jumped to some conclusion that it was something else, is their problem, not mine. But it kind of goes to show. Then they got into the dislike. Dislikes are a fake button on YouTube if you're not aware. They don't do anything. It's not a fact. It just annoys the creator because you might not see how many. I do. Well, this is another thing is over here when you get up here to a certain level, you'll have quests from their floating cities. The Horde and Alliance. Baroness has done some of those. We'll go out here and get. So there's the Horde ship. And yes, you can go attack. Yeah. Unless you fall off the ship and you're dead up there, you're gonna press it to take things. Okay. Nothing guarding this one. Ice Storm is something you find in Wintergrass. Again, feel free to comment. The comments are moderated because of the troll storm that came through. There was a lot of people that felt the need to leave inappropriate, misplaced, misguided, untrue commentary. I'll call it what it is. Trolls are trying to heal stupid tanks. not to pick on yet another group. I watch a lot of law court. One time in my life I thought about being a lawyer. Anyway, sovereign citizen movement. Don't fall for it. Don't come out with some cockamamie treaty. What type of court is this? Nautical, or it's like these people come to court with ideas that they got in the back of a cereal box. And they cause themselves more grief This is you can have a fight master do that. Here's a jewel crafting thing. Let's put it here.
All prices here are reasonable.
Oh, you get these from. You get those from if you're doing
Good health.
If you're doing these. There's a flight point. I must not have it yet. There it is. Wrong side. A lot of these advanced areas, you will get flight points that are shared. You know what I mean? For a while, like over in Shoals or Abyss, I forgot that Horde and Alliance can go there. So normally you don't see them together, particularly on a PvP server. You can, if you find a name of somebody, for whatever reason, is offensive, you can report the name. It's been very rare. I've done it. What will happen is they'll get a report, they'll review it, and at some point if they decide that this belongs inside, then they'll get choose it. Okay. Exit stage left. That was an overpull. This is an example where tanks will refuse to heal. He's trying. But most tanks will stand there with a thumb up their butt. See that guy up there, and he was running around pulling. listening to me. Again, they're not eating. If you'd left now, you get a 30-minute timeout, so to speak, unless it's after the first boss, if other people leave. I would tell people I'll be the last survivor. So I'm not wearing the shoulders of the XP. This group is going to be in trouble. That doofus that was pulling, if he does again, I'm going to let him die. Again, here's line of sight. And range. They don't give the healer time to I'm done with this group. I don't have the patience. I'm sorry. And I didn't have the buff. If you're there long enough, apparently you don't get the buff. Good riddance. I am patient to a fault. And then I'm not patient anymore. For some reason, you get tanks that are just like paper tigers. I mean, I've had a ton of groups that come through that instance that have take their time and do things the way that you should. But that DPS don't know what he was thinking. Let some other healer work with it. So yeah, if you say, well, why'd you ban it? Well, because it was obvious. These were having, either they're under-geared, or they don't necessarily know how to play their characters. That's all I can say. I'll go back to these other ones and see. What do I lose? I lose. Yeah, I'll stick with them. I'll send the heirloom over. So I think I'm going to stop using the heirloom on the paladin as well, because the balance of the percentage of the XP is offset by having this 50% boost. So these are, you have a fear of heights. Welcome to hell. I think there's a flight thing out there. It's out here. You definitely can't get up here without flying. I don't, well, maybe you can. You come up the one path, but you have a heck of a time getting through. I believe you can get up. If you come up, there's a road that comes up here from down below, so you can't get up to certain points, but to get from here over there, you have to get up into here, I think. You know, back in the day, and I hate to say it like that, but I will. That's how we had to get around. We didn't have flying. I'm going to say this only because I'm going to hex myself, but in these remote areas you typically don't have as much issue with ganking because they're so remote. They're mostly level 80s. You notice I'm not queuing back up to be a healer because I'm going to let some other healer deal with those mobs. I'm calling back. Looking at about an hour and a half on this video so far, so we'll go get this flight point and I'll take you down and show you the road how to get up here. Switch over and do a video of my holy paladin. So you can kind of get a taste of how the healing is between the two of them. It can run hot and cold. I've had groups that were patient, the tank waited. But for the most part, those are the minority. And the tanks are either already DPS like that. DPS. I think that was the red paladin decided to help on. Maybe they were together and did not look. Because you will get that. There is a server. I hate to pick on them. I hate to name them. But Benediction is a bane of my existence. Because when there's going to be a problem with a tank, DPS is usually from that server. Not all of them are bad. Don't take that as my comment at all. But when I get into a group and I see a Benediction tank or a bunch of Benediction players, I'm the only one not. It's like, no, it's just not. Because they're probably all in the same guild. They're probably on Discord, however they're communicating. And so they can communicate, well, I'm the healer. Guess what? You guys are so screwed. This flight point. This opens later. There are some flight points that don't open up until you quest them. Yeah, for those that don't know, the pandemic in particular, a lot of the courts went onto YouTube. And there's people that will go, you know, I talked earlier about YouTube channels that play to hate or play to like. There's these people that will go in and I can't remember what they're called. They go in and they'll stand at a doorway of a sheriff's department and say, I want to come in and look at everything because it's public. Open the public. The favorite one, and I'm not going to name him because he has a tendency to sue people who do. But let's just say person A. There's a traffic stop. So what he does is he sees this and he thinks all police are corrupt. So he goes down. I'm going to show you the way up here. I think this is coming up out of here. Could be wrong. I know there's a Area 52 down here. Anyway, he purposely says and does stuff. It's like when I had a motorcycle years ago. One of the first groups I got involved with was the Patriot Guard, because the church had happened to be Baptist, and I'm not picking a Baptist, but the reason was Baptist. Baptists are one of the religions. Each church is a separate entity. There's no pope, there's no overall council. The Baptist church is a Baptist church. And a bunch of lawyers, there were 17 in the family, formed a church, so they're protected by religious backgrounds. And they would go to funerals of service people and say some stuff that would cause a fight. I'm not going to say what they said, but whether the person being buried was of that persuasion or not.
Time is money, friend!
We own Wintergrass, so.
Glad I could help.
Anyway, what the Patriot Guard does, they're still around, but the church group has kind of gone off the air. I have not seen any reports of it there. Out of Iowa, I believe. They would go and start fights purposely, draw somebody, hey, you know, they stand there and say some vulgar, unsayable things to the point where you'd want to throw a punch. Well, then they'd sue you. They've never been involved with them. The one funeral, the first one in Minnesota, we had a young man, unfortunately, up in, that was from Blue Earth, and that was his funeral was. And the church would call ahead and tell people, because the federal court made them, they're coming. So it's the only funeral I've ever been to that had Secret Service, sheriffs, regular police department, highway patrol. There was all kinds of levels. Funniest part was they all had the earbuds. They do the twitch when they're hearing a message. And this one cop got tired of that, so she unplugged everything so we could hear it. It was just humorous. And we stand there with our flags, standing as a wall of red, white, and blue between them and the protesters. And that was so effective. You don't see them doing what they did much. I have not heard of them. And that's what these auditors, that's what they call themselves. They're either constitutional auditors and whatnot. So going back to person A, he came upon a police officer to pull a lady over and walked up in his video, was asking her if she was okay, if she needed help, interfering directly with this poor police officer's job that they were doing. You don't know why he pulled her over, you don't know what they were talking about, but it's an invasion of privacy for the driver because now he has her on film. Well, anyway, the police officer politely, because every police officer, 99% of the police officers are very polite, even in bad situations. That's part of their training. Asked him to back off. Well, then this clown decided that he only had to back up one step. And then he didn't back up anymore until the cop let the lady go and said, okay, now you're being... Oh, then he backed up and he complained. Anyway, he does this to get a YouTube viewing. He does it, and he has a following. Well, this one particular instance, he went to the court, and the court... Normally they'll go in and they'll suspend a sentence until you appeal it. And that's what their modus operandi is for these auditors. Well, this guy ran into the wrong judge. Judge threw him in jail. It wasn't prison. There's a distinct difference between county jail and prison for the most part. I've never done time in either. I'm going out. I've toured a federal prison here in Rochester. It's a medical prison, so most of the prisoners here are here for medical reasons. And it's federal, it's not state, so there's even differences there. most people I understand who have to do time prefer to do it in federal prisons. They call them club fed. I can't speak to that, but apparently they're handled better. Again, I have no direct personal experience with that, thankfully. Here's the ice storm we saw from the other area. What the clown did, I'll call him Clown versus A, because it sounds like I'm calling him a name derogatory name. I was a clown for 10 years, so it's a sideways comment of sorts. But anyway, he was in this jail, and apparently this jail has big dorm rooms. And he was afraid, because he's a big guy. He always talked about it. He's a bully, and he'll push his way around, because, again, big guy, and he feels he has everything. Well, now he's in everything behind him, and now he's in a prison where you're told what to do, when to do it, how to do it, where to do it. There's videos of this guy who's been to prison gets tips on how not to annoy your cellmates. And anyway, what this clown did is then he went on a phone call to another YouTube channel and said all kinds of bad things about the judge and police officer. Well, I should say when he was going to his trial, called the police officers in the court a PIG. I'm not going to say it because I don't believe police officers should suffer that name. Although when we have National Night Out, the police are over, we'll often joke about that. Full court. And they find it funny. If they don't, I understand, but it's like, it's just the irony of that, considering the slang terms. I'm a barbecue smoker, so the amusement you get out of there is what you can get. But yeah, the judge was not having any of that, and rightfully so. Some judges will let things slide. Like, I saw a couple interviews with judges, and they ask about contempt of court, because it's easy to hold somebody in contempt, and there's all kinds of things that you have to do to get out of it. And there's criminal contempt, and then I can't remember what the other one is. They have their respective. I mean, the way I have often seen it, not the worst, but the longest term, is if you get a reporter that's doing a story and they want to know the source, of course, I'm not going to tell you because I have a client, it's like a doctor-patient privilege of sorts. They are legally protected. The judge said, fine, I want you to go sit in jail for contempt. Think about it. And some reporters have done a significant amount of time in jail because they don't want to be at the reputation of, you can tell me what's going on and I won't give your name over unless it's necessary. So. But yeah, he was Mr. Tough Guy until he got into jail, and then the things he said on his phone thing to his other YouTube channel, completely the opposite of what he said when he was in court. It was obvious that he was play acting, so they're crying and stuff, and so many YouTube channels that watch him in particular, others like him, just lapped it up. They made videos, music videos. And, so yeah, he is complaining, wants people to send him money. And, now, when I get to 80 and Cataclysm comes out, I'll have 5 more levels and I may be able to get more herbing. So that's something else I think about. You can come back here because some of these herbs were golden, meaning they would have gotten me a level up had I not been maxed out. But there are formula or recipes for alchemy and inscription that call for those. So it's good to collect them. And again, the Horde, I'm surprised I haven't seen more Horde over here. I think we want this. Yeah, we do. Or yellow.
Looking for something specific?
Stamina intellect versus stamina spirit. Spirit has to do with the
Be careful.
Regen. So that is a very, as you've seen when you're struggling, regenning is like right now, I regenerate almost 300 mana every 5 seconds. You know, almost 160, or a little over 160 while casting. So I have that, so I can stand still and get mana back, but as you saw, sometimes it's like you just can't keep them alive. It gets worse the higher you go because people are just used to being reckless. The advantage you have here in Dalaran is all of the higher level trainers here, so you don't have to go from all the different areas. There's jewel crafting and odd things you can buy. To show you the undercity of Dalaran. Now, you don't want to do this, there's a barber shop. In New Dalaran, you don't want to do what I'm about to do. Because you come down here, to be honest, the first time I came down here I was waiting for it because my other characters in retail have played down here. They're all nice, and then this is where you come and get your different vendors for arena. And these are all the vendors for the different arena or battlegrounds. Do those. I really haven't done battlegrounds. Probably Wintergrass is about the only one really intriguing. The Altric Valley is another one. We can queue up and see if we can get it. Last time I queued, I don't think they're as popular. I'll queue up and see what happens. I tried queuing up the other day and went for hours without getting in there, so I don't think they're as used as they might have been. And you can attack people in town here, and the guards will kill you. This is a ring I don't need anymore. Maybe I'll just call it a video here. And I'll try to do a I don't think they're as active as they used to be. So we will call this a video here. So as we did on the intro, say hello to our friends at Catacomb Brewing here in Castle Maverill. Under pressure in Golden Valley, South by Southeast is beautiful Pine Island. For venues of similar nature near you and yours. If you're not here, not visiting, check them out in your area. There's plenty of them around. They have different themes. If you're not sure what's going on, check them out. They often have a Facebook page, if not their own website, and they'll list everything they have available, whether it's the drinks, alcohol and non-alcohol. Many of them, if not all of them, offer non-alcoholic options, particularly for kids. But adults like that too. But they have events such as beer choir, trivia, Dungeons and Dragons, and more. With the holidays, they'll do stuff for Easter and stuff. But anyway, check them out. And Saturdays, you can come and do yoga and limber up and not get judged if you drink before, during, or after. I say this for Molly, the owner's wife, as she agrees that yoga and the influence is pure entertainment, but not without video and photo evidence, because we can share it and enjoy it amongst ourselves. It's not considered a crime because the yoga under the influence, like driving under the influence, is not considered a crime. At least in most places, it's not even illicit unless you're in the Bible Belt. Some places, you know, I saw some of the different areas of the country might frown on it, but that being that, check out my books at sellersgr.com, this channel at geekfengshui.com, as well as the channel Geek Feng Shui. Please like, subscribe, and set the bell. It really does help this creator. Likes in particular. Views are nice. Subscribe if you feel daring, and set the bell accordingly. And I will try to do less videos to annoy you with boring content. But yeah, I'll try to do my pally next here in a little bit. And go from there. So yeah, please like, comment, and eventually the comments will show up if they pass the smell test because of the trolls. So anyway, have a good one. We'll see you in the next video. Please like that one and this one. It's just surreptitious voice. Transcendent. Say, please like.